conflict resolution and de-escalation of conflict, I think, is so critical in how we move forward.
That was Columbia Police Chief Skip Holbrook talking about the capital city's plan to improve community relations. Now, just last night, you'll remember protesters gathered at the State House in Columbia calling for fair treatment from law enforcement after several cases of police brutality all across this country. Good evening, I'm Brian McConkey.
And I'm Janet Parker. Now, the key question in all of this is what constitutes fair treatment and how can police and the general public get along without any incidents? Watch Fox's Tara Pettit looks at the idea of complying, then complaining if you feel you haven't been treated properly.
In the wake of the deaths of Michael Brown in Ferguson, Missouri, and Eric Garner in New York City, protests against police force continue from Columbia to Colorado to Paris.
I can't breathe! I can't breathe!
People in the Midlands have hit the streets in recent weeks to protest cases of police brutality.
No justice! No peace!
It's difficult to be a police officer today.
We asked experts if citizens can diffuse confrontations with police by complying first, then complaining later if they feel their rights have been violated. Some say an officer's tone can encourage compliance. This tactical training tip is from the website Police One.
So start by asking for their cooperation first. It's going to make your job a lot easier.
In a perfect world, it would be a good model to follow.
Vernon Herron is a retired cop, now with the University of Maryland Center for Health and Homeland Security. He says some citizens do comply, but still with tragic results. Take the case of John Gear, a Virginia man shot and killed by Fairfax County Police in 2013 in the doorway of his home. It was a case of mistaken identity. A mobile phone picture even shows Gear with his hands up before he was shot.
When it gets to the point where you have to pull your firearm, your training should be comprehensive enough where you know that you have the right to discharge that firearm.
Herron and others acknowledge the difficult job that police officers have. He believes several things would help police do their jobs, including more thorough background investigations of candidates, sustained ongoing training for officers, and clear guidelines on use of deadly force if officers are ever confused. In addition to that, there are growing calls for police to establish better relationships in the communities where they serve. It's something Columbia police are working to improve in the wake of recent events.
The thing that has impressed me the most about this department is the relationships that we have in the community and our commitment to continue that open conversation and dialogue about any issue that's related to making our city safer.
Now, just last week, Columbia's police department promised to hire more officers and work to foster better relationships in the community by assembling a more diverse police force. Chief Skip Holbrook also promising additional training on conflict resolution. All of that to help police and the general public share some common ground. Live in studio, Tara Pettit, Watch Fox News.